Icons are powerful tools for helping users navigate digital designs, but only if users actually understand them. That's why testing icons is critical. And to do it right, it's best to consider two different high-level approaches: testing icons both in context and out of context. Each of these methods helps answer different questions at different stages of the design process. The key is knowing when to use which. Out of context testing refers to methods where users are shown icons in isolation. So in other words, they don't see the icons in an actual interface. This approach is used early in the design cycle, often when there isn't an interface to test yet. And it's a way to determine if users recognize the icon's shape, what meaning they assign to it, and whether the icon is visually appealing. In-context testing refers to methods where users are shown or interact with icons within an actual interface. This happens later in the design process, and it can help us understand whether users interpret the icon's function correctly in an interface, if it makes sense contextually with other icons and elements, and if the icon is findable and discoverable within the interface. Think of these approaches as two sides to the same coin. Each fills in gaps the other leaves behind. Let's look at a real-world example to see it in action. In my research for the book, Digital Icons That Work, I used both out-of-context and in-context testing to understand how people interpret icons. I started with out-of-context testing. I showed people icons in isolation and asked them to describe what they believed the icons would represent in an interface. This approach was useful for understanding if there were widely shared associations for certain icons. Next, I used in-context testing. I showed people the same icons within real interfaces to see how they interpreted them. This approach revealed how context, such as position, proximity, and other surrounding interface elements, shaped or changed user expectations and interpretations. When you are evaluating icons, consider the following methods for each approach. For out-of-context testing, use surveys. Show icons to users in isolation and ask them to describe what they represent. You could also use rating scales to measure things like recognizability or visual appeal. Or use preference test, where you ask participants to compare multiple icon designs to find the most effective or visually appealing one. During in-context testing, try screenshot testing. Show interface screens to users and ask them what they think the icons they see would represent. You could also use usability testing to observe users interacting with icons within a live interface or prototype. Or click tests could help you measure how quickly users recognize and find icons within the interface. In-context and out-of-context testing help answer different research questions and shed light on different attributes of icon usability. Use out-of-context testing early, in-context testing later, and combine insights from both for the best results.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of our UX videos, take a look at these videos over here and consider subscribing to our channel. On our website ngroup.com, you can access our free library of over 2,000 articles. You can also register for one of our UX courses that offer live hands-on UX training.